Hey, what's good, guys? It's Clutch City Entertainment here, back with another video. And for today's video, I'm gonna be talking about the most forgotten Texan on the defensive side of the football. I just recently did offensive side of the football. I believe it was yesterday. So today I'm gonna be doing who's the forgotten Texan on the defensive side of the football. So let's get on with the intro.
20 seconds and counting.
So on the defensive side of the football, my forgotten Texan, or not being talked about enough Texan, is Desmond King. Last season he played with the Tennessee Titans. He was traded to the Titans. I believe it was like for a 6th-round pick around the trade deadline. And I mean a 6th-round pick for Desmond King, a former All-Pro cornerback. That's kind of crazy. That's a massive steal for the Titans. I'm not sure why they didn't re-sign him. I know for a fact that he had some pretty solid games there. Like, he wasn't terrible. Obviously, he wasn't in his All-Pro form, but I mean, he wasn't terrible. He formerly played with I don't know if they were the San Diego Chargers at the time or Los Angeles Chargers at the time, but he played with the Chargers. With the Chargers, he was an All-Pro cornerback, and I believe he was also an All-Pro returner, if I'm not mistaken, punt returner or kick returner, one of the two. So he's a multi-dimensional player. He can play special teams and cornerback. But for the Texans, I believe he's going to be primarily playing slot cornerback, and I believe he's really going to excel. Not many people are talking about him. Everybody's talking about Bradley Roby or Terrence Mitchell or Justin Reed, Lonnie Johnson. Everybody's talking about those players, but there's really not many people talking about Desmond King. And I believe Desmond King's going to have the best year for anybody on the secondary on the Texans, and I believe he could be a top 3 corner in the AFC South, and maybe even be a top 10 corner in the AFC. That's how good I believe he is. He's still pretty young. I believe he's like around 25, 26, maybe about to hit 27 this next season, anywhere in that range. So he's still fairly young. We only have him on a 1-year deal, which is kind of sad, but I hope the Texans re-sign him after this year. But his stats are pretty good. Last year I don't believe he had any touchdowns. Or actually maybe he did have one. It was a fumble return for the Tennessee Titans. So he's able to make plays. He's a playmaker. He's always gonna be around the football. Somehow he has that instinct of a ball hawk safety. Like, as a cornerback, like, sure, he's a cornerback, but he has this instincts to always be around the football, and it's pretty crazy, pretty insane for a slot cornerback to be like that. But last year, 2020, his stats were 31 combined tackles, 10 assisted tackles, 1 sack, when he played with Tennessee. But his other half of the stats were 20 with the Los Angeles Chargers with 24 tackles, 5 assists with 1 sack. So last year he had around, I believe it was like 55 total tackles, 15 assisted tackles with 2 total sacks. And I mean, we could really use that. 2 sacks from a slot cornerback. I believe, I'm not sure who it was. I believe it was Bradley Roby who had a sack last year. Maybe Vernon Hargreaves had 1. But we didn't really have too much production from the cornerback room in terms of sacks. And I mean, that's something we really were looking to do last year. I know that we sent the cornerbacks on a lot of blitzes last year, because we had a so-called exotic defense. It really didn't work out like that as we wished or as we planned, but I mean, it is what it is. I guess we got to move on. But if we had a guy like Desmond King last year, I totally believe he would have around 4, maybe even 5 sacks last year. That's how good of a player he is in terms of rushing the quarterback. In 2019, he had 51 combined tackles, 11 assisted tackles with 2.5 sacks. In 2018, he had 62 tackles, 15 assisted tackles, 0 sacks, but he had 3 interceptions. In 2017, which is his best year in my opinion, 76 combined tackles, 10 assisted tackles, 4 sacks, 1 interception, and that 1 interception, I think it was a pick 6. And in 2017, I believe that's when he was an All-Pro. So I mean, it was kind of a while ago, 3-4 years ago, in his rookie year. But I mean, I believe he can totally return to the All-Pro form, especially since he's gonna be surrounded by a pretty good secondary. Like, he's not gonna have to carry anything or carry anybody like he had to somewhat do last year. In Tennessee, there wasn't really any other, I guess, cornerback or safety that really stood out. It was mainly only Desmond King who would, I guess, make all the plays, or at least try to make all the plays. And this year, it's not going to be the case. We have Lonnie Johnson, who's, I guess, can translate into a playmaker. We have Justin Reed, who we know for a fact is a playmaker. Bradley Roby, who's a pretty good corner. Terrence Mitchell, who I believe is also a very good corner. So he's going to be surrounded by some guys who he can, I guess, mesh in well and fit in well, and he's not going to have to do anything. He's just going to have to primarily do his job. He's not going to have to worry about doing the cornerback one's job or the outside corner's job or the safety's job. He's just going to have to mainly be focused as slot corner. And I believe him doing that is going to make him excel into having a very good year. So, yeah, that's my, I guess, breakout or forgotten Texan on defense. I may be doing one on special teams. I'm not really sure if it's worth it. But let me know who y'all guys think is going to break out on defense, or who's the forgotten player on defense. Let me know in the comments. And yeah, that's pretty much the video. I hope you guys have a good day. Peace.